You guys, this man had a full out change of clothes
The next day.
for the next day. I was like, oh, he thinks he's sleeping over and getting some. And like, he comes with the bed. I said, what's this? All right, welcome back to this thing of ours podcast,
where we talk about all of life's highs and lows
and everything in between. Oh my God, Curtis. You guys, this sweater, so I'm wearing like a wool type sweater for those who are not watching on YouTube. And this sweater, feel it.
Feels very thick.
It's thick, but it's hella itchy. Oh my God, I hate that material. I got this from the thrift store, and when I saw this, I couldn't pass on it because I really wanted like an oversized plaited, dress shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice, right? And when I tried it on, I had like a sweater on. It's already, so I couldn't really feel the material, but I had a feeling, that material is going to be itchy. You guys know that material, right? That material that's so damn itchy, and then like no matter how much you lotion, you just feel itchy,
Yeah. See, that's a wool material.
Yeah.
I get that feeling with like a silk almost.
Silk.
I think it's silk material. My hands, I feel like even though my hands don't feel dry, it feels like my fingers are still like sticking to it as if I'm like Spider-Man or something. Like I'm sticking to it. And it like, I don't know, it just feels weird. It feels very, very weird.
Yeah.
That's the material that really irritates me.
Silk?
Yeah.
Wow. No, mine's definitely this wool material. Like I even have something very similar in like a scarf that I've been wearing all winter. Bro, my neck has just been scratching my neck 20. Like I just feel like I gotta scratch off my neck because it's so itchy. I cannot. And I've washed this sweater so many times and it's just so itchy. Yeah. Oh, I can't take it. But anyways, this podcast isn't about, this material and how much, things itch us. It's about how we met.
So how did we meet?
We met on Tinder. It all happened with a swipe to the right. Thanks to Tinder. That's right. That dating app, Tinder, has put us together for about 6 years. So Tinder, thumbs up to you. You've put us together. We've been a match. Somehow we've matched and we've been, what's that word? Inseparable?
Inseparable ever since.
Yeah. Basically.
We really have. Yeah. It was a struggle for me at first to get her to actually want to be with me for real. Like, yeah, she wanted to hang out and this and that, but it took a lot of work to get her to actually say yes to being my girlfriend.
This man put in work, okay? Like the amount of times I pushed you away and you just kept coming around. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you keep coming around?
What did you call me?
Oh, bugaboo.
Yep, she did.
You guys, okay, no. Before we get into that topic, okay, because we're about to spill the juicy details of how this all went down. Before we get into that juicy topic, we have to start from the very beginning. Like, how did we even end up on Tinder? I keep saying Twitter. It's Tinder.
Well, originally, like, I was just hanging out with my brother one day. He mentioned that he had this app. Didn't know what it was at the time. Told me kind of what it was about. So I downloaded it. And I was just minding my business another day, swiping right, swiping left on whoever I seen. And I stumbled across Amelia's profile. And I don't know. She was really good looking. I don't really remember.
I like how he says was really good looking. She was.
But I'm talking in the past tense, in that profile. There was one picture specifically that really caught my eye. She knows what it is.
The gray dress.
Yep, the gray dress.
Yes.
But anyway, it was just the way she had her hair out. She looked happy. She looked positive. She looked like, I don't know. It was just different than what I seen with a lot of other girls that were on Tinder. And I don't really remember the description she had, but I believe she did say that she was in school, and I was actually going to school myself too. So I was working for many years before that out of high school. And then I decided to go back to school. Same college that she was currently going to.
Yeah. All right. So now how I ended up on Tinder, I was always on and off, these dating websites like Plenty of Fish, Tinder, and I never really felt like got a good connection from certain people that I was talking to. So I never really actually, fulfilled like, dating wise with them. I met maybe two of some of the guys that I was talking to on the dating websites. But, nothing went from there. Like we either became friends and then talked as strictly friends. And that was really, really it. And I think I was on Tinder maybe a week before my exams because we met like right when my exams were about to start in December.
Yeah, I started in January, so I did things a little bit differently, but that was an option for me.
Yeah. So what happened was I was like, you know what? Let me just try this Tinder date one more time. If it doesn't work out, I am going to just try to meet someone in an old fashioned way, like maybe go out to maybe not a bar, but, ask some mutual friends. Hey, do you know anyone that's single that, that wants to date or just wants to hang out, friends wise? Because a lot of the guys that I did meet or I did talk to, it was going nowhere. Like, trust me, it wasn't going anywhere. So, yeah, I was just like, let me just give it one more shot. I came across Curtis's profile. I'm like, do I swipe right, swipe left? Not too sure like what I was going to do. Like I actually closed the Tinder app because I didn't know if I wanted to swipe right on you. Yeah, so I closed it, reopened the app. So the app refreshed and then he kept coming up. I was like, oh my God, Tinder, give me new people. I haven't made my decision yet. And yeah, like after that, I swiped right. I'm like, you know what, screw it. If we match, we match, So I swiped right. And, that happy Tinder thing, you're a match or you matched or something. And then we never said anything, I think, for the first couple of days. Mm-hmm. And it just kept giving me a notification saying, say hi to Curtis. Or, when that Tinder tries to promote you, try to talk to people. Mm-hmm. So that's what Tinder kept doing. And I didn't say anything. I'm like, you know what? If I'm supposed to actually, have a conversation with this man, he's going to say something to me first, because I don't know. I was busy during my exams and I wasn't trying to, meet anyone anyways, right off the bat and be like, hey, let's meet and let's do things. Let's hang out and stuff like that. I generally just wanted friends because I was living in a city that I didn't know anyone for a couple of years now. Like it was very hard for me to make friends. So I was actually on Tinder to meet friends. But yeah.
It's quite the place to meet friends. But,
anyways.
Based on the reputation they have.
But anyways, yeah, we matched. And he actually talked to me first. He messaged me. He said, hey, how's it going? And I answered back. I said, not bad, you. And I checked out his profile first, make sure he was a good candidate. Can't be too crazy out here.
You did your FBI.
I did my FBI, you guys.
Investigation.
As this man is talking to me, right? Because, you have, at the time, I think that Tinder only allowed you to connect through Facebook. Like you had to connect your Facebook through Tinder.
I don't remember, but
you couldn't connect it through your phone number or your email. It wasn't like that yet. It was, you had to have Facebook and then you had to connect through Tinder. You wrote something about going back to school in January. I was like, oh God, that means I'm going to see this man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because we actually talked through the app for a while before we even got each other's phone number or anything. But yeah, the conversations were actually really good. They flowed very nicely. We were able to hold a conversation.
You talked for hours in a text message. When we started exchanging numbers, this man sent me I don't even know, a whole paper worth long essays type of messages. And I was like, wow, okay. Wow, you talk a lot.
I don't know. The conversation just flowed easily. Unlike, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of people you meet and a lot of people you try to talk to, relationship wise, even just friends that you try to meet, let's say at work or whatever the case may be, right? And it's just an awkward conversation. It's just hey, how you doing? What you been up to? And then it's just what else do we talk about? it wasn't like that at all.
I know. I do feel like we did connect really quickly. Maybe it was because you were a Virgo, but I didn't even know he was a Virgo till he told me. I'm like, oh shoot, my best friend, she was a Virgo too. And I'm like, oh, my best friend's a Virgo. And like he didn't understand like that I was actually heavily deep into horoscopes and like the things that we connect with. So I knew immediately once he told me he was a Virgo, I'm like, that's why we connect. Because I connect very easily with Virgos. It's actually really scary how much I get drawn into Virgos.
Yeah, no, it is true. Even after over the years that I've noticed, like a lot of people that you meet that are or happen to be Virgos, it's just you just connect with them.
I connect with them and we actually hang out. We have a conversation. Like, look at our mutual friend there, Shanu. She's a Virgo and I didn't even know. Like at first, I didn't think she was nice. But those people who you never think are nice at first, those actually tend to be like the nicest people and the people that you actually want in your life for like many years. And she was definitely one of them. So shout out to you, Shanu, for putting up with my ass in genetics class.
Yeah. But anyway, so after we talked for a while, she actually did allow me to meet her.
I think I asked you to meet. I said, do you want to meet? And you're like, when? I'm like, tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I don't.
It was my last exam by then. It was my last exam. And I remember I was going to go home soon to go visit my family for Christmas. And I said, I want to see him before I leave. And at the time, I was actually talking to somebody else while I was talking to him. I mean, there was no like, hey, you're my girlfriend now. No, it's just us two. Don't talk to nobody. Like we didn't declare nothing at all. So, I was talking to other people and I'm sure you were doing the same.
I mean, the awkward conversations on Tinder,
yeah.
but that was really it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was definitely nothing solid between anybody I was talking to.
Yeah. But when we did meet in person, it's so funny because I became friends with somebody that worked at, my school gym and obviously my neighbor, we were all very close. But I told him who I was going to meet. I had to show him his picture because, like I said, you never know. People are crazy out there. And before you even meet anyone offline, I think it's definitely as a woman, I think it's super important to, share his picture. Because, like I said, you never know if he's crazy. Like, share his picture with your friends and be like, this is who I'm going to go meet. If I don't text you at this time, come find me.
Something happened.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I showed him, I trusted him, and I also trusted my neighbor. So I said, I showed them both, I said, this is who I'm going to meet. So yeah, like if I don't, because I actually did have a meeting with with one of the guys that worked for the gym. It was just something for school. And I said, well, this is who I'm going to go meet before the meeting. So obviously if I don't show up to this meeting, something happened to me.
Yeah, and she wanted to meet in a public place. So we met at the mall.
At Tim Hortons.
Yeah, like right kind of in the food court, really. But yeah, we sat there, talked for a little bit.
Oh, no. He jumped a little bit ahead, guys. So I was actually late to come meet him because I was doing my hair and I was super nervous. And when he told me where he was in the mall. So I took the long route to get to him, just, and every other store I ran in just to check my hair, check my makeup, make sure, I looked okay. And I was shaking, like literally shaking because, he seemed like such a nice person through texting. And I was scared just let him see me in person. Like, I didn't know if he was going to think I was attractive because in Sudbury, you guys, there's not that many. At the time when we were meeting, there wasn't a lot of interracial couples.
It wasn't diverse.
It wasn't diverse. Yeah.
Like
at all.
Yeah. Sudbury, it's a northern small little city. It is considered a city, but I mean, the entire population of that city is like, or at the time was probably 150,000. So it wasn't a big city. And
I'm even surprised that there was that many people.
The diversity was very, very minimal.
Yes. And normally when you do see an interracial couple in Sudbury, it was always, a black man dating a white woman. It was never like how me and Curtis, black woman dating a white man. It was very weird, but we're going to save, if you guys want a podcast on, interracial dating, on, our experiences, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
But let us know what you guys are thinking about that if you guys want to hear that side.
Little points that you want us to actually address. We can definitely get that done. We
can definitely do like a Q&A. If they're interested in doing that, send our questions. But where were we in this story? Oh, yes. So I finally got to see Curtis. I finally saw him. He was just waiting in between the lobby to just waiting for me. I guess he thought I was coming to come through those doors, but I actually took the long route. And the first thing this man said to me, okay, I will never forget this. I bring this up every single time. The first thing he says to me is, "What happened to your hair?"
I don't know if I said it like that. That's how she remembers it.
No. That's exactly what you said. You said, "What happened to your hair?" And I looked at him like, no, he didn't.
In every picture that I saw, she had her hair out like this, sort of. And then I guess for whatever reason, maybe she was nervous.
I straightened it.
Who knows? She straightened her hair. So it's just not what I was expecting, I guess.
You could have said, "Hey, how are you?"
I know.
Could have given me a hug. The first thing this man said was, "What happened to your hair?" It was rude. And you were so lucky you got another date. You are lucky you got another date. Because I was like, oh no, this might not work.
I don't know. I don't remember saying it like that, to be honest. But it was just because I did like her hair out. I liked the way she had it styled in the pictures that I seen her. And then when I seen it straightened, it was just not what I was expecting, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we, catfished each other a little bit. Yes, I think we catfished each other a little bit in the pictures. But like I said, that's for another podcast, for another episode, for another day.
I looked a lot different than I look today. I had no hair, shaved right down.
Yeah.
But
so then we went to Tim Hortons. That's where you were starting, and he bought me my mocha, half hot chocolate, half coffee, no whipped cream.
Still drink that to this day.
Yeah, after 6 years later, still drink that. And we sat down, we talked for a little bit, and then I told him I had to go to a meeting, which he thought I was lying. I just wanted to get out of meeting him, but that's not what actually happened. I actually did have a meeting. So so we walked through the mall quickly, and my other neighbor at the time, he was working at a cell phone store, and I had to walk past that store. So that's why I took him through the mall. And I told him, I'm going to meet this guy from Tinder. Is it possible, that you can just, hang around outside of your store? And I'll give you a thumbs up if, he's good. And as we're walking through past the store, I'm pretty sure you probably didn't notice, but I was like this.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, I gave my neighbor a thumbs up saying, oh yeah, he's okay. He's not crazy from what I got the gist of it. So yeah, from there, we talked more. We went our separate ways after, and we talked more through text message. We didn't call each other. And when did we start dating? March?
Yeah, we actually started officially dating in March, but in when we actually started back in school in January, I started asking her if she wanted to hang out, just do homework together and, just study and do little things like that. And that's where we really started the friendship, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because I was busy, y'all. I was busy trying to graduate. I wasn't trying to be in that school forever, be in, that small town forever. I wanted to leave. I had, I had very tunnel vision for my exams, for school. I was like, I'm getting in, I'm getting out. If you want to be with me, if you want to hang out with me, you better be doing some homework, because you're not going to distract me with being like, oh, let's go to the movies. Let's do this. Let's do that. I was like, no. Just my second year of being in that program, I was in dental hygiene program. Shout out to all my dental hygienists. dental hygiene is a very competitive program to get into. And it was definitely very hard. Definitely my second year. Second year was like the hardest year. That was the year I met him. So I was very like, yo, if you want to hang out with me, hang out with me, but you're not distracting me. And I told you that a lot. I was like,
She
you're not
did.
distracting me. If
She
you want to
actually
hang out
did.
with me, you better be cracking up some books. Don't be turning on no TV if you come over. You better have a book. You better sit down and read. You better do some math problems. I don't know what you want to do, but you better do it because I got shit to do.
And honestly, that was probably one of the best things that could have happened to me at the time was to meet her.
Oh, that's so nice.
Um,
Thank you.
because me doing work like that and actually doing my assignments, that was like a huge difference from how I was in high school. High school was a totally different atmosphere.
You a bad student.
Yeah, I was lucky to get through high school, and I went back to school. How many years? 6? No,
6 years.
8 years out of high school. I went back to school.
You went back to college?
Yeah, that's when I met you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it was 8 years out of high school. So it was a really different scenario for me, but it was nice to have her around, someone that was serious about school and someone that wanted to just buckle down and get it done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I really needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like you definitely played a big role in getting me through schooling and making sure I got what I needed to get done.
Yeah, and we were just friends at the time. And like I said, I was talking to somebody else. I feel like this part is really important because if it wasn't for that moment, I don't think I would have dated Curtis. Like, so I was hanging out with another guy that I was interested in, like more interested in than Curtis at the time, and like I was interested in Curtis, but at the time it wasn't like that. So I wanted to hang out with this other guy. So I was talking to him. I hanged out with him. And something happened, and I was just like, "Why am I here?" Curtis asked me to be wanted me to be his girlfriend. He was talking about how proud he would be to have a girl like me on his arm, and I was like, and I was looking at this other dude like no offense because I still know him and we don't talk, but once in a while it's like, "Oh hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. How are you?" And conversation ends. But he said something I don't remember, and I was just like, "Nah, this isn't it." And I text Curtis and I was like, okay, you want to hang out with me tomorrow? Like, actually hang out with me? And he was like, yeah, sure. Okay. And then from there, I actually looked at you a little bit differently. And I knew with everything that went down, like everything that went around us, I knew I was going to be like, you know what? I'm going to date this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's how I knew I was going to date you. I got sick and you took care of me. And I was like, all right, this guy's the winner.
Yep.
Yeah. And I felt like he knew he wanted me to be his girlfriend from like the very get-go. And I was like playing games. I was like, no, not you. Like,
She kept trying to push me away.
Yeah.
But, and I guess kind of just trying to keep me in the friend zone because that's what she was originally looking for, like she said, right?
Yeah. I wasn't looking for a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of did know right from the start. It was just something about her, something about the vibe, the conversations we were able to have and keep going. No time we spent together really felt awkward, or like that we were trying too hard to make it work.
Yeah, or trying to force a conversation. Honestly, I look at you as my best friend.
Yep.
I feel like I've never had this connection with anybody, like with the opposite sex. Why? So obviously, you make girlfriends and you're like meeting with them, hanging out with them, gossiping, but I never actually felt this connection with another person of the opposite sex. And when I started talking to you and hanging out with you, and I knew you were gonna like, I don't know, it was just like you said, it was a vibe, and I knew that I had to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be Curtis. Yeah. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I know. I love you. And I said I loved you first to him, and he didn't say it back, but I already knew he knew. I already knew he loved me. He was just hiding out, too scared. Every single time I said it, his eyes would open wide and he'd be like turning all red. I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to sit back. I already know you love me. And I would get out the car.
Yeah. But anyway, you want to jump back to what you said you were going to talk to them about, what you used to call me?
Oh,
to,
yeah.
To her friends.
Okay, we have to talk about that part.
You promised you were going to mention it. So.
You okay if I talk about that?
Yeah.
All right. So one night, I text Kurt around 6 o'clock. I said, hey, do you want to come over? And I'm thinking, okay, he'll get here from 6 and he'll leave at 9 or something, go home. And this man, I fell asleep on my couch, watching TV. This man knocks on my door at like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
I told her I wasn't going to show up right away. I said I had a couple things to do. I had to figure out, when I was going to get there and everything. So I showed up between 9 and 10 probably.
Yo, okay, what? When I said, okay, come over at 6, he said he had a couple things to do. Okay, cool. I'm not in a rush. I'm just going to watch some TV. I fell asleep because it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock comes by. This man still didn't text me, didn't show up. So I was like, okay, well, I guess he's not coming. So I fell asleep on my couch around 11. I hear knock on the door. And I'm like, who the hell's that?
Well, no, I couldn't get in, first of all.
Oh, yeah, he called my phone. I didn't answer.
She had a buzzer to get into the apartment. Right?
Yeah, you're right. I did at the time. I had a buzzer. And I think he called me like maybe 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Your girl was sleeping on the couch, okay? I was sleeping. And I'm like, yes, it's Curtis. And I'm like, what time is it? It's 11 o'clock, 11:30. I'm like, hold on.
And I'm sitting here in the entrance way of the apartment building, like, as if this girl told me to come over and she's not answering her phone.
I told you to come over at 6 o'clock when the sun was still out, honey, bunny, okay? Mm-hmm. Not no 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, booty call was this. So I was like, I opened the door. I'm like, yes. I'm like, he comes in, sits down, and I'm thinking, what? Why are you here so late? Like, it's 11:30. And he was like, well, you told me to come over. I'm like, at 6, 7, like, sun's still out, honey. Like, you don't be coming over here at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And he's like, well, I came over. And we got into a little argument because I'm like, what's in your bag? What's in your bag? And he's like, books. I'm like, liar. So when he went to go use the bathroom, I unzipped his school bag. You guys, this man had a full out change of clothes.
For the next day.
For the next day. I was like, oh, he thinks he's sleeping over and getting some. I'm like, and he comes to the bathroom. I said, what's this? Oh, well, you told me to come over late at night, so I thought, you wanted me to sleep over. I was like, I never said those words. If I wanted you to sleep over, I would have indicated saying, hey, do you want to sleep over? I never said, come over and sleep over. No, he bought a whole change of clothes for the next day. And I was like, no, you going home. And I literally kicked him out. Mm-hmm. I kicked you out.
She did. She told me to go back home, and I wasn't staying. And we'd see each other the next day. But yeah.
And after that, I remember I called one of my good friends, and I was like, this man brought a whole change of clothes, toothbrush, cynical, and he's like, oh no, he's a bugaboo. I'm like, damn right, he's a bugaboo. You know that song from Destiny's Child? After that, like, it was kind of like a turn off for me. I'm not going to lie. It was a turn off. And that's when I started looking at you as a bugaboo. But I got over that, and we talked about it. We laugh about it. I still laugh about this till this day. And we got over it. And I don't look at him as a bugaboo. Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it was intended. When she told me to come over, I told her I wasn't going to be right away. I was going to be a couple hours. So I figured that's what was happening.
Wouldn't you, though, text somebody? Like, shouldn't the other person that you invite come over, like, text and say, hey, I know it's like 9 o'clock and I haven't showed, like, do you still want me to come over? Like, that's something I feel like you should have done.
Yeah.
Because I know I would have done that. like, I know it's late, and I said I was gonna come over around. I know you asked me to come over around 6, 7, but I had things to do, and now it's 9 o'clock. Do you still want me to come over? Or it's 11 o'clock. Still want me to come over? Like, I just don't show up at people's house at 11 o'clock at night. You were trying to get a booty call.
I don't know. Past experiences throughout the years. I mean, that's just what my mind went to, and I thought it would have been fine. Like even if nothing happened that night,
Which it definitely did not.
I was still thinking that she wanted me to, hang out, and stay the night, and then we'd go to school in the morning and be fine. No big deal.
Yeah, no. No.
Maybe it's just small town vibes. I don't know.
Yeah, no. It was not like that at all. Like, you were a full out bugaboo, bring your change. I just can't get over that scene. Like, I just remember being like, ah! Like, I was shocked. Like, literally, my mouth dropped open when I saw his toothbrush, toothpaste, change of underwear, change of clothes. I was like, huh? The only thing I think you were missing was bath soap and a towel.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in shock because I've never experienced that before, So, yeah, I was.
Well, let's just say I'm glad she looked past it, because here we are 6 years later.
6 years later, and we still talk about this and still laugh about, the little incidences that have happened along the way.
Yep.
Like, I wrote down a list of things that I wanted in a man. We can talk about that, like I said, in the next podcast if you guys are still interested in this conversation with us. And one big thing was I wanted to get along with the in-laws. I wanted family to be like my family, because my family is very close. Like, I'm very close with my parents. I'm very close with my sisters now. Now, because let me tell you, we pulled some hairs back in the day. But I became very family oriented, and I always wanted to, be like that with my significant other. So, other past history of guys I've dated, I never really felt a connection like that. Except for one other person, but that was because we went to elementary school together. But other than that, I never really felt a connection to other people's parents. But with his mom, I feel like I do have a connection with her. He always tells me that we're a lot alike. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
I feel like it's always a good thing that you can see similarities, because that's what you grew up with, that's what you know,
hmm,
and I don't know. I feel like it is a good thing to see those qualities in the
yeah.
person you're with.
I read somewhere like years ago that men always date women that are very similar to their mother. Let me know if you guys feel like that's true. What are your significant other like? Or the women in the past, do they resemble your mother? Not just in looks. I look nothing like his mom,
Yeah.
other than we're the same height. Other than that, but I'm talking about personality
Yeah.
wise. Does your significant other kind of resemble like some traits? Be like, wow, that's something my mother would say to me. Like, like things like that. Does I heard that men usually find or marry or date women that are very similar to their mother.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have heard the same thing about women and their fathers.
I've never heard of that before.
Like, and she has said sometimes that there are qualities that do her of my father, remind her of her father in me.
Yeah, like you like to build things. My father's very handy. He likes to, do construction work outside with his hands. And I feel like you are like that. And that's a good thing because, your girl doesn't know how to do a lot of things with her hands. So it's
Mm.
nice that, he likes to actually build things, fix things with his hands. So, I thank God for that because,
Yep.
yeah. Them IKEA packages would be in a box still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it for the podcast.
Yeah. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And this is where we're at 6 years later.
6 long years
It hasn't been that
later.
long.
6 years is a long time. Like, I met you in my early 20s. I'm
Hmm.
about to be 30. That's a good
Hmm.
chunk of years, time-wise.
It is. It is. But it
Mhm.
didn't feel long. It went by fairly quick.
That's true. I guess so. I
But
guess
we've been
so.
through a lot together, trust me. And we'll discuss different topics throughout different podcasts,
Mhm.
moving and going through school and different topics. that we've experienced.
Yeah, together. And let us know in the comment section what you guys how long you've been with your significant other. Have you ever met anyone on Tinder that you've dated for a long period of time, or has Tinder apps or dating apps in general, have they worked out for you? Let us know. I'm curious to see, or is ours just one of the lucky ones that were able to work out? Like, yeah, I feel like maybe maybe it was meant to be for me to meet you this way. Because honestly, I always feel like I never look the same. Like, I'm okay with going out, leaving my house out without makeup on. I'm okay. I don't leave the house in my pajamas. That's just one thing that's a huge no for me, unless I'm walking my dog. But I won't go to the store looking like, I'm going to a club, or, I'm expecting to meet someone. I always just go to the store because I'm going to the store and I'm picking up something really quick and I'm going home. So, like, I felt like if I didn't meet someone online, I feel like they wouldn't have been attracted to me, or they probably wouldn't have approached me. And I feel like maybe that's why, we kind of went hand in hand together. Because personally, if I saw you, I still think you're attractive. Even back then.
But I wouldn't have been your first choice because I'm not tall. I'm not super short, but I'm not tall.
That's not what I meant. I just meant, like, I didn't feel like I was going to be someone that you would have thought was attractive if you didn't meet me in person. If you met me in person and you didn't meet me online, I feel like you wouldn't have thought I was attractive, and I felt like you wouldn't have given me a chance to get to know my personality wise. Sorry, my throat's dry, guys.
But no, what I mean is I feel like it goes both ways too. I wouldn't have probably been your first choice. We would have maybe just walked right past each other because I may not have really noticed her and she would have really noticed me.
Yeah.
Or paid attention.
And there was actually an incident where we were supposed to meet. He was actually in Walmart at the same time as I was, but he was in the back on the bikes with his brother. And I was in the front in, like, the hair section. And I remember we were talking. He's like, yeah, I'm at Walmart with my brother. I'm like, oh, which Walmart? And he was like, in New Sudbury. And I was like, oh, hell no. You guys, I packed up my shit and I left. I ran through the carriage and I left. I was like, he ain't gonna see me busted and crusted. For the very first time, hell no. Yeah, but that is how we met. And we hope that you guys enjoyed this story. Do you have any last words you want to add to this podcast episode?
Just that I love you and I'm glad we're still together.
I love you too.
So that's it for this podcast. Hope you join along. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Follow us on the podcast players. Links in the description. And yeah, we'll see you in episode 2.
Peace.
Bye, guys.